Nigo hila, I gansa, I gadante, nole I gadante, nige so in. Nigo hila, I di jalagin, nige so in. Asen no, I gansa, I gadante, tigesa, nole, amayetli, wadzinin, diga daleji do lai.
What I would say to groups that are trying to be federally recognized is that there's a process in place.
There's a process that was established in 1978 by the United States of America under the Department of Interior. It's called the OFA process. This process is funded every year by Congress.
This process is important because it's born of statutes and regulations. It looks at things dispassionately in terms of what are the facts, what's the history. What we don't need in this country are 50 different political systems for determining what's an Indian tribe.
At my tribe, we've had to go through the process twice. It was a rigorous process, but we were able to, like I said, there was no doubt in our mind that we would get it because we have all of our documentation. We signed the first treaty with the United States government, the treaty at Fort Pitt, the Lenape signed that. So we have that in our document in our history.
When we talk about federal recognition and the criteria that fit those things, historical documentation and that type of research from anthropologists and historians is what we've really leaned on to make sure that we're actually legitimizing who we are.
As I think about groups, such as the Lumbee group, that have no sister tribe in Oklahoma where the southeastern Native Americans were moved to, it makes you wonder. It makes you question their validity.
And whenever we encounter groups that say they were Native Americans in the places that we lived, but they're absent from our stories, absent from our language, I find it not improbable but impossible that these people hid out in plain sight.
I don't think that you can claim something that's not yours. And if you can't prove it, we know who we are. We've known it for thousands of years.
Why didn't they have to go through the removal era? Why weren't they removed? All of the things that we go through Cherokee history that are just pivotal points for us, right? Why didn't they have to go through those things?
The reality of having to sit across a table that we fight to just be at, that blood was spilled. Our ancestors' blood was spilled. We don't even have our ancestors back where they were originally buried. We're still fighting for that. And to know that now we also have another battleground for people who are going to try to claim, state corporations and groups that want to claim that they have the right to those ancestors, that they have the right to sit at that table and their blood was not shed.
If we started giving out tribal recognition, acknowledgement of a sovereign status to groups of people, you will see other tribes' sovereignty undermined because it would be so simple. All you have to do is set up a table at a Piggly Wiggly and start a recruitment drive, get 85,000 people's names on a register, and then say, hey, we'll vote for this party or we'll vote for that party. And now, suddenly they're politically motivated to get that group of people certain political favors, and that can be recognition.
What I've seen is when the Congress weighs in on recognition, it is completely divorced often, or largely divorced from a real examination of the historic record. It really is detached from the elements that are in the OFA process. Again, looking at history, looking at whether the people in question share a history, a language, a culture, close physical proximity to each other, unbroken over the centuries.
These other people, I don't know how they're documenting hiding out in caves for 400 plus years and maintaining their culture and maintaining their language when supposedly they've hid out and all of a sudden they're coming out of the woodworks today.
Someone could use fraudulent pathways to get that key to unlock a door for opportunity, economic opportunity, is criminal.
It's hurtful to hear that other people have those same claims but don't have that historical backing.
It's so disrespectful, for the Congress, the United States to ignore our sovereign nation's request to follow the process.
As I think about the responsibility of Congress the senators that are working so hard to make sure this recognition occurs. I feel that they haven't done their homework. They haven't allowed the process to do its job.
I think Congress had it right when it shifted this responsibility to career public servants administering the law and doing it in a transparent, frankly dispassionate way that looks at the basic facts.
As a tribal leader, amongst many tribal leaders across the nation, we are fighting for sovereignty.
Sovereignty is not something that we were given by the United States. It's something that we always had because we pre-existed the United States. So when amalgamations of people with common stories come together and try to just claim that they're brand new on the scene and they want the same kind of sovereignty, they don't understand that this is pre-existing. You can't just come together and demand sovereignty just because you're a cluster of people of an ethnicity.
We're strong, we're resilient people, and we've proven that time and time again. But we want our leaders to do the right thing. Make the decision based on merit. Make the decision based on the justification and the records that prove that you're Native American.
Jalsinte stinga dante tigesa. Iga dana an nole iga dan elido lang udohiu kanohe tigesa. Do yukta idija lagi gesa aske ijigayu sesti.